Do the Red Sox have to trade Alex Verdugo in 2024, or is there another scenario? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Red Sea Radio. My name is Corbin, and I'm hoping and praying that over the next couple of days, we're making at least a couple of videos about additions to the Boston Red Sox. But until that happens, right now we can only talk about hypotheticals. And one of the names mentioned in almost every single hypothetical Red Sox move is Alex Verdugo. It feels like at this point, it's almost a necessity that the Red Sox trade Alex Verdugo in 2024. But is that reality? Is it realistic that the Red Sox need to trade Alex Verdugo this offseason, or are there reasons to hold on to Alex Verdugo for the 2024 season? That's what we're going over today, because today we're going to be breaking down the pros and cons of trading Alex Verdugo to ultimately try and decide if this is someone that needs to be traded before or during 2024. But before we get into that, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one. Let's get into it. Okay, I think the best way to do this is to break this down into two parts of this video. The first part being the reasons why you should trade Alex Verdugo, and then we're going to talk about reasons why you maybe shouldn't trade Alex Verdugo to ultimately try and decide which side comes out on top. And we're going to start with the reasons you should trade Alex Verdugo. And I think in my head, the biggest reason why the Red Sox should trade Doogie is because you have so many young, talented prospects basically waiting in the wings to get their shot at an everyday major league role. Right now, you've got two pressing guys. I think that's Wilyer Abreu, who had a fantastic showing in his time in the big leagues this year. This is a guy who, in my opinion, is ready to be an everyday major leaguer. Then you've got, say, Don Rafaela, who's one of your top prospects, a guy who's in the top 100 prospects in Major League Baseball. He's sort of knocking on the door of being major league ready. I don't know if he's fully major league ready yet, but he's a guy as well who's sort of knocking on that door. And then on top of that, too, you've got Roman Anthony, who seems to be headed towards the major leagues at a missile pace, right? He's a guy who feels like he is just shooting up the minor leagues and could be ready for the major leagues at the end of this year, possibly, right? You've got a ton of young players that could be ready for the major leagues who all have really high ceilings, but nowhere to really put them in an everyday lineup. Trading Alex Verdugo opens up that opportunity. It allows you to use these guys as sort of, okay, we're going to flip-flop Abreu and Rafaela. We're going to allow these guys to basically fight for an everyday spot and see who comes out on top, possibly raising the ceiling offensively and maybe even defensively as well for your major league outfield, right? It's an opportunity cost having Alex Verdugo on this team, because you're not allowing these younger players who do have a higher ceiling than Alex Verdugo right now to get the opportunity to play every single day. And for me, that has to be the biggest reason as to why you'd want to trade Alex Verdugo, because of your faith in these younger players. But there are reasons outside of that, and another reason you may want to trade Alex Verdugo is because of the contract attached to him, right? He has 1 year left of arbitration, meaning that after this season, Alex Verdugo is a free agent. He can go wherever he pleases. And for the Red Sox, we haven't really heard any news about an extension. Yes, they could bring him back in free agency, but why let him get to free agency without getting anything for him? Trading Alex Verdugo could do one of two things. It could allow you to trade him for someone with a similar amount of control in an area where you need better depth, right? We already talked about the depth in the outfield. Maybe there's someone out there at second base or in the rotation or in the bullpen that could really help the Boston Red Sox in a similar amount of time, but in an area that you need more help in. The second scenario here is that you could trade Alex Verdugo for someone who has more years of control, someone who could be an impact for the Red Sox beyond 2024, something that it doesn't feel like Alex Verdugo is going to be able to do. That's the second reason why you'd want to trade Alex Verdugo, right? To get something in return to either benefit the team in 2024 or to benefit the team in 2024 and beyond. And the third reason, in my opinion, is the clubhouse issues, right? Over the 2023 season here, we had a couple of different scenarios where Alex Verdugo ended up getting benched for either his on-field play and not playing hard enough or his issues off the field. And this isn't the first time we've seen this popped up. It happened in LA. It happened a couple of times in Boston before. Is this something that's going to get better or worse in a contract year, right? Because Alex Verdugo is going to be playing for his future in 2024. And we'll talk about why that's a pro in a second, but it could also be a con as well. If he's having these off-field issues in 2023, it could be magnified in 2024. Is this something the Red Sox are willing to risk? Are they willing to risk Alex Verdugo being more of a problem off of the field and maybe even possibly on the field than he was in 2023, because everything is heightened? Everything means more when you are playing for your future. How is Alex Verdugo going to handle that? And is that something the Red Sox are willing to risk? So I think when we're looking at reasons why to trade Alex Verdugo, there are three glaring ones, right? The opportunity cost with the young players on your team, the ability to trade and add depth into areas you don't have depth in, and removing a guy who could possibly be a problem for you in the clubhouse as well. So there are a few reasons why the Red Sox should trade Alex Verdugo, and it makes sense why he's at the top of everyone's trading list. But what are some reasons why the Red Sox may not be interested in trading Doogie, and is it enough to outweigh these pros? I think when we're looking at reasons why the Red Sox may not want to trade Alex Verdugo, the biggest one is because you sort of know what you're going to get, and that is a solid everyday player. Is he a great player? No, but he's giving you Gold Glove caliber defense in one of the hardest right fields in all of Major League Baseball. You know he's going to be solid defensively, and offensively, he's right around a league average bat. Throughout his career, he has a 281 average with a 337 on base percentage and a 428 slug, good for a 105 OPS plus, or about 5% above league average production. Like I said, he's a right around league average bat, which isn't a problem in the Red Sox order, right? He doesn't need to be a superstar right fielder for him to be a positive impact in this lineup. In fact, he's a guy who gets on base a pretty decent amount. He's a guy who doesn't strike out, and he gives you solid defense. Those are all three things that the Red Sox could use going into 2024. So statistically, there isn't really a true reason why you'd want to get rid of Alex Verdugo. Now, obviously, he had a really bad second half, and we will get to that in a second, but on top of he's also going into a contract year, which could be a con, but it also could be a pro to keeping Alex Verdugo, right? We could see the best Alex Verdugo we've ever seen because he's playing for his future. We saw sort of the best Alex Verdugo we've seen, and I think the max of what Alex Verdugo could be in the first half of 2023, where he had a 124 OPS plus over 83 games. That's 24% more productive than the average player in baseball. Now imagine that over the course of a 162 season. That could be a really impactful bat for the Boston Red Sox with that Gold Glove caliber defense. If the Red Sox are looking to be truly competitive in 2024, a guy on his contract year that has a ceiling that Alex Verdugo has could be really, really important. And the Red Sox could utilize that last year of his contract without extending him or getting anything for him. I know there's sort of a feeling around Red Sox Nation that you need to get something for Doogie, right? You can't just let him walk because, hey, that was the main piece of the Mookie Betts trade. If he walks, then the Mookie Betts trade was a total failure. And we already know that the Red Sox lost the Mookie Betts trade. Letting a guy go like Alex Verdugo in a vacuum without the Mookie Betts title attached to him isn't really the end of the world. He's a solid player, but he's not a superstar all-star that you have to get something for. He's not Mookie Betts. He's not Xander Bogaerts. He's Alex Verdugo, right? And Alex Verdugo walking is a whole lot different than Mookie Betts or Xander Bogaerts walking. He, in my opinion, falls into a similar category of Adam Duvall, Justin Turner, James Paxton, guys who were successful with the Boston Red Sox and helped this team with wins, but someone who, if you're going to let them go, you're going to let them walk in a season where they are on a contract year, it's not the end of the world. And I think Alex Verdugo falls into that category and is a guy that you can let go without having to be like, oh my God, we lost Alex Verdugo. How do we not get anything for him? Well, the reason we didn't get anything for him is because he had a 122 OPS plus throughout the entire season and helped this team make the playoffs. That could be a scenario here that I think is pretty realistic. The final reason I think it kind of makes sense to hold on to Alex Verdugo is because of the fact that his value really isn't that high right now. If you combine the fact that he had a terrible second half, yes, there were off-field issues. He talked about it at the end of the year, that this was the hardest year for him in Major League Baseball because of everything that happened with him and his family family outside of baseball, right? Things were getting to him mentally that caused that dip in the second half, but that dip still happened. It still happened in a time where the Red Sox could really have traded Alex Verdugo. And on top of that, you also got the disciplinary issues that you had during the 2023 season. And suddenly, Alex Verdugo's value isn't as high as you'd want it to be. It's not like you're going to be able to flip Alex Verdugo by himself for a frontline starter or an all-star second baseman. He's going to have to be included in a bigger package. Is that something the Red Sox want to do? Just sort of lopping in Alex Verdugo with a, say, Don Rafaela, a Roman Anthony, a Nick York, someone who is a much higher pedigree here to try and get someone who's worth more? Or is it worth it to the Red Sox to just let him play out his last year and then figure out if they want to trade him at the deadline or just let him walk in free agency, right? Because the value is so low, they have that option right now. He's not a guy who you have to sit here and say, man, if you don't trade Alex Verdugo, you're really losing out on the value he's worth on the open market, because right now it's not worth all that much. And I think, to me, this is one of the bigger reasons why the Red Sox may hold on to Alex Verdugo. The fact that they can hold on to him, trade someone else, and get more from them. I think ultimately when we're looking at this, no, I don't think the Red Sox need to trade Alex Verdugo going into 2024. In all honesty, I think there's a likely scenario where the Red Sox are looking at their roster right now and they're saying, okay, if we don't get someone who's a right-handed outfielder, who's a guy who's going to put up 20 home runs a year, if they're not going to go and bring back Duvall or Teoscar or Lourdes Gurriel or someone like that, there's a situation here where the Red Sox look at everything and go, okay, Rafaela is close to Major League ready, but he's not Major League ready yet. Wilyer Abreu is not an everyday player right now. We need to make sure he can develop at the major leagues at his own pace and not stick him in the everyday lineup. Why don't we hold on to Alex Verdugo for now, allow him to play out the last year of his contract, maybe even mentor some of these younger kids, get them to where he is defensively and help them offensively with their strikeout rates, and then see what he's worth at the deadline or see what he's worth in the open market if he's worth bringing back. I think that's a really realistic scenario right now going into 2024. I think reasonably it makes sense why every single trade rumor surrounding the Boston Red Sox has something to do with Alex Verdugo, right? He is the clear candidate and I think still the number one favorite to get traded this offseason, but I don't think it's a sure thing and I don't think it's a necessity for the Boston Red Sox to have to trade Doogie before or during 2024. But that's just my opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, is Alex Verdugo someone that the Red Sox need to trade? Is it a necessity that he is not on the Boston Red Sox in 2024? What is your opinion on the Red Sox trading Alex Verdugo? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, if you made it to the end of this video, do me a favor. Make sure you guys have hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new here, we talk Red Sox content almost every single day. Also, make sure you guys have hit the like button on this video as well. Helps these videos out a ton, and it would mean a lot to me. Thank you all very much for clicking on this one, and I will see you in the red seats.